Today we will talk about certificate of registry. Now, this certificate is issued by the government in the country where the ship is registered. If the ship is registered in Hong Kong, it will be issued by government of Hong Kong. This government of Hong Kong is also known as administration. So this certificate of registry, just like a certificate of registry of a car or motorcycle, it will have two or three things. One is the name of the ship, and second will be name of the owner owner of the ship, and the third thing will be address of the owner. Now address of owner has to be in the same country where the ship is registered. So that will be mentioned in the certificate of registry. Expiry date lifelong, no expiry till the ship is trading. Once it goes for scrap, this is no more valid. The other certificate we'll discuss now is the certificate of safe manning. Certificate of safe manning. This is also known as certificate of minimum manning. Now, this is also issued by the government where the ship is registered or by the administration. Again, it is no expiry, lifelong till the ship is ready. And what are the contents of this certificate? Name of the ship and minimum crew required to be on board of the ship before the ship proceeds to deep sea. Minimum crew required. Now for this, it will be mentioned something like master 1, chief officer 1, second officer 1, third officer 1, AB 2, or normally it is 3, OS 2, then chief engineer, second engineer 1, 1, third engineer 1, then motorman 2, something like this. So total normally comes to about 14 or 15. So this is the minimum manning, and this will be decided by the administration, by the government. Now, in coming to this decision, how much minimum manning crew should be there, the administration will see one or two things and then decide how much should be the minimum crew required on that ship. First will be the trading pattern of the ship. For example, if the ship is going to ice areas, they might increase the number of ABs to 4 because more crew is required in ice areas, more work is there to remove the ice, etc. If the ship is trading on short voyages, for example, container ships, every 1 or 2 days there is a port, you will require more crew. So they might increase the ABs to 4 or OS to 3, like that. So trading of the ship. And second criteria will be the UMS. If ship is UMS, you might require only 3 engineers. But if the ship is manned engine room, non-UMS, then they might add one more engineer, fourth engineer one. So this is about the certificate of registry. Another thing will be criteria to decide the number of crew will be the degree of automation. For example, one of the automation would be UMS. The second would be, you can say, the number of cranes. If the ship is gearless, you need less crew. So they might reduce the number of ABs to or number of OS to just one instead of two or three. Another degree of automation would be the opening closing of the hatches, operation of hatches. Nowadays, most of the hatches are automatically operated by a lever, hydraulic. Earlier, it used to be by a wire pull, etc. In that case, they might have to increase the number of ABs and OS to 4 and 3. So degree of automation also decides the number of crew. So now the total crew on board, if you total all this, let's say 14, that is the minimum crew required on board. And what would be the maximum crew required on board? That would be as per the lifeboat capacity. So we are normally your lifeboat capacity will be always more than the minimum crew as per statement. So maximum crew, if your lifeboat capacity is 20 or 25, this would be the maximum crew allowed on the boat. And if the minimum manning is 14, this would be the minimum crew required on board. So normally owner keeps the number of crew. The owner decides it would be between in this case between 14 and 25.